Okay, hello. My name is Peter Snow. I'm a Tai Chi instructor and practitioner since a rather long time. This is my friend Jean Francois Jean Francois is going to take the job. His job is going to ask me questions that come from some of my Tai Chi students, from other people's students, and also just people outside of Tai Chi but who are interested in Tai Chi and find it a fascinating world and want to know certain things about it. So the idea is that Jean will ask me a question and I will do my best to reply in a way that brings, let me explain it like this. They're the sort of questions that I cannot really address within the context of a class, because that's not the place for it. We'll slow it down, not the place. Here we can elaborate, go further and deeper, and so on, and hopefully that will bring some light to different aspects of Tai Chi that are not known or very less known to not only the general public, but even many Tai Chi practitioners. Because Tai Chi is not just a system of exercise, it's many other things.
See, it links with the first question I had for you.
Okay, great.
It's a very basic and general one,
yeah.
But I was wondering, when we first approached Tai Chi, is there a system of belief or a certain worldview that is underlying the practice of Tai Chi?
So a system of belief or a worldview? No, it's not a system of belief. It's a worldview based on the whole culture of the Tao. Of what is life, what is the universe, what is a human being, what is the place of a human being in the universe. So we talk about three powers: the earth, man, sky, heaven. Okay? Earth means the realm of instinct. Man, or humanity, if you prefer, mankind, is the force that unites the world of instinct and the world of consciousness. Heaven means consciousness. Heaven is vertical, goes up. Here. Earth is horizontal. They meet in the human being as a cross. Here, where the yin yang combine. Tai Chi means harmonization of yin and yang. Okay? This vision is simple. Heaven, earth, man. Consciousness, instinct, feeling, intuition, connection, us, humanity.
And so when we think about Tai Chi, we know, like, I heard sometime about the Chi, you cultivate the Chi. The Chi is some kind of a life force. How, I guess I would have a question in three parts, like, what is the Chi? How do you cultivate it while doing Tai Chi? And where do you store it? And how is it spent? How come it's an energy, you cultivate it, and then at some point it's spent and you have to cultivate it again? I guess that's where you practice.
Okay, let's start with the first part, okay?
Okay.
Which is, again?
What is Chi?
What is Chi? Okay, this is a question that everybody who teaches or Tai Chi or Qigong or energy, anything connected with East Asian culture, I try to answer this question, and it's the question that is impossible to answer. It's like we say the Tao. The Tao which can be named is not the eternal Tao. Qi, there are a lot of different opinions on what is Qi, how to express what it is, there are many people working on this. There are different kinds of Qi. You can have the Qi of the room. You can have the Qi of a space. You can have, it touches many aspects of life, okay? But I'm going to reduce this to Tai Chi. In our realm, Tai Chi Chuan, we work on what's called the Yuan Qi, the Vrei Qi, the original Qi. The Qi that comes from when you're born, from your parents, your kidneys. And then we develop that Qi. Okay? We can reduce the term to a simple formula like vital energy. Yes, it's that, but it's not that. It's deeper than that. You have to feel it. See, my teacher says it's a substance, but there are very few people in the world who would agree with that. In Tai Chi, in the domain of internal arts and cultural, energetic arts, a lot of people say it's to all kinds of things.
Because I remember something you told me once as an example. You said the baby is full of chi.
Yes.
And as time goes on and the child develops speech, he's disconnected somehow from this flowing source.
Yes. Yes. Because the child is one. Yin yang combined. Especially a newborn. It is one. And then time goes by, the chi splits and it becomes two, and it goes talking and then it's finished.
But that's linking with what I was asking at the beginning, because you're talking about yin and yang.
Yes.
And I've seen, like, everyone that I know in Western culture knows about quote-unquote Zen and quote-unquote like the Tao, the symbolism, yin, yang, and blah, blah. And can you give us a little, like, just a little illuminating note on that? Like, what is yin, what is yang?
Okay, definitely. First of all, I want to say something very important about yin yang. It's not a system of duality. Okay, it's not that.
Masculine, feminine,
the symbol
opposite attracts, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly. You see, the symbol of the yin yang, what people call the yin yang symbol.
Yeah.
It's got the two fish and the two eyes, right? It's got the eyes. If it didn't have the eyes, it would be a symbol for duality. But it's not duality. It's everything. So two, one becomes two, two becomes four, becomes 8, becomes 16, 32, 64, 64 hexagrams, yi king. It's a vast system. So yin yang, nothing is 100% yin or 100% yang. The only absolute in the reality of the universe is the absolute. Everything else is relative, partial. It's never more 100% yin, 100% yin. It doesn't exist. The sun goes down, the night comes up. The moon contains the sun contains the moon. When you see the full moon, you're looking at the sun reflecting. So this is yin-yang balance. There's always some yin in the yang, there's always some yang in the yin. And they're in the process of constant transformation. Yin becomes yang, yang becomes yin. Soft becomes hard, the hard becomes soft. Left goes right, right goes left. Up goes down, down goes up. Yin and yang. They create movement. Movement is life.
And how does chi relate, the notion of chi, how does it relate to yin and yang? You
have yin chi and yang chi. Now there we get interesting. Because these are basics. As I said earlier, there are many kinds of chi. But your basic chi is yin chi and yang chi. Heaven chi and chi from the earth and chi from heaven. They unite in a human being. And then they combine. Through different breathing methods and so on, we can combine the chi. We create another energy, which is shen, spirit. So two chis combined, like a motors, like a chi failure, they make like a generator. And this produces another energy, see?
Which is?
Shen, spirit.
Spirit.
Chen, the basic formula of transformation is energy comes from the kidneys, hormonal energy, which is at the basis from the kidneys. It's kind of hormonal energy. We call qin. This energy is the building blocks of physical life. Biology, bioenergy, sex, bioenergy. This energy is work to transform, become qi. And the qi, we work on that, and we transform that to become shen. So we have an alchemical process going from different frequencies of vibration. The qing is kind of like this, the qi is more refined, and the spirit is very, very refined.
And so when we practice Tai Chi figures, which are set as like 108 figures?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
In the Yang style, it's 108.
In the Yang style, so
Yes.
there's more than one style.
There's different styles, and there are also more forms even in the Yang style. But I only teach 100 meters.
Okay, okay. And then when we practice those exercises, those forms, is it in order to cultivate the chi or to transform the three energies you were talking about and to produce Shen?
That's later on. It takes time. First, you have to develop the chi in your body. So first of all, you have to cultivate the chi. So that means we're going to do exercises. The first thing you're going to do is cut out all the leaks in your life. If you want to do Tai Chi properly, you have to embrace it as a style of life. Okay? That means getting rid of all the leaks. This is very difficult.
So we're leaking machines.
We're leaking constantly. Okay? Through our orifices, but more importantly, through our the thinking patterns. You know, negative thinking, negative energy, negative emotion, all this worrying, stop worrying.
Fear, anxiety.
All that stuff eats the chi, so to speak. Okay? This means that if you're cultivating chi, you're eating properly, you're trying to sleep properly, you're doing a lot of exercise, but you don't control the machine upstairs, we're putting it in, it's going out straight away. We're not building anything. It's not easy. And it depends on the individual. Me, I have a lot of problems with all this stuff up here. Even despite decades of practice. It's not easy. There's no, Tai Chi is not a panacea of stuff. But it's a path. And a lot more sane, in my opinion, than most of the alternatives we have on the earth right now. So if you want to self-develop, Tai Chi is a great path for that. One of the food makes sense.
And when you let's say I'm doing a session, I've been working, like I get in it, I'm waking up in the morning, I'm like all stiff. And then
Sleep, that's a leak.
Yeah, that's it. And then I practice, I get more, I think you would call it sum.
Yeah, sum, which means conscious release. Releasing of
I get more in my body,
Mm-hmm.
I get more united, I feel better. And so then I have like this notion that I'm cultivating my chi somehow. Where, if anywhere, is it storing in the body?
Good, excellent. All right, that's a good question. See, we cultivate the chi, we store it, and then we circulate it.
Okay.
Okay? A few Qigong teachers might not agree with me on that, but basically it's that. You've got to build up the chi inside the body. And then it can start to flow on its own as soon as you have enough. But also we do exercises to make it circulate everywhere. Once it's circulating everywhere, it's going to have a positive effect on your life from the cellular level. And you will have less problems with mental stress and emotional stress and so on. But it takes time. So we say there are storage facilities within the body. The human being, not just the body, but the totality of the human being, the mind and everything, is a microcosm of the universe. Okay? What does that mean? It means we have all the laws and principles within us, and the energies, and the capacities, in potential. It's a potential. Tai Chi is a potential. It's something we can achieve. The harmonization of yin and yang. We're looking for that. You're not born with that. Well, you can argue a bit what I said about the babies. They're more or less in their chi. Pure. But unfortunately, the normal processes of human development will take them out of that.
Yes.
So that's why we have systems like Tai Chi, because human being is not fulfilling its role consciously in the cosmos.
Well, isn't it also true culture? The culture of a human being, we get a lot in here, like we're thinking about customs and how to deal with our own desires and fears and how to act and how to blah, 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 blah. So it can take out that natural system that we would have, or of circulation of energy in our body and cultivation of energy. But yeah, unless I'm wrong, you didn't answer where we store that energy, or how do we store it?
Okay. Yeah, these questions are, I'm trying to reply in a simple way, but they're very sophisticated.
Yeah, I know.
And tomorrow I'm going to think about it and go, oh, why didn't I say that?
Yeah, all the underlying principles.
about what we call the Dantien, which is an energy, you know, like, let's say it like this. If you take a line between the top, if you take your ear, the points of your ears, you go up, you come here. You take your nose line, you go up, where they meet, that's the crown of the head. Okay? This is called, in the Tai Chi world, in Qigong, this is called the point of 100 meetings. Because 100 lines, yang lines, chi of chi meet here, meridians. Now, so you have that crown. You drop a line through the body to the perineum, which is between the sex and your anus. So you imagine a line straight through the body. You got that?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what was your question?
Where do we store the energy?
Okay, so this line drops through. Now, that's the vertical line. Now we're going to take the horizontal line. So you take 2 fingers. You go 2 fingers below your belly button. Okay? Here. And you go in the body with this line and that one. So you take a line horizontally straight through your body at the back. Where the 2 lines cross. Follow me?
Yeah.
The 2 lines cross at one point. That's a cavity inside the human being. There's nothing there. There's no organs. Okay? That's where the fetus in the womb is going to start to move. Grows from that central point. Now, I'm not an acrobat or gymnast, but if you see a gymnast, acrobat in the circus, when they jump automatically. They're going to do a saut around that center. Back flip, whatever's going to go around that center automatically. Because that's the center of gravity. It's the center of growth. But it's also potentially a center where we can put our consciousness more fully in the body. And it's a center for keeping the chi. Now we call this the Dantien. That means the field of Cinnabar. Cinnabar?
Cinnabar?
Yeah, Cinnabar is a kind of mercury, liquid mercury.
Huh.
Okay? So the Dantien means literally the field of Cinnabar, of liquid mercury. That's where we accumulate the chi. So if you do an exercise standing or moving, whatever, the chi goes down there and it stays there. Okay? You build that up. When that is built up, you can circulate it around. So we got exercises, preliminary exercises for storing the chi, and then we have other things for circulating the chi. Okay? Yeah, I'm explaining this, this could be explained in many different ways.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay? It's not as straightforward as I'm making it, and it depends a little bit on the individual. Okay, these are very sophisticated, but they're also, no matter how sophisticated they are, there's also a side that is simple.
Yes.
We're looking for simplicity. Because we're looking for evolution. Evolution is simple.
Okay, so I want to get away a little from those principles now
Yes.
that I think
Cool.
you help me understand them better. Something when I talk about Tai Chi with people that they get flabbergasted by is that it's a combat system also.
Yeah.
Like people think it's like more akin to a kind of super soft yoga, like people who really don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
But what I've learned a little bit with you, it's very effective as a defense and martial art system. Would you want to expand on that a little?
Yeah. You see, Tai Chi has a reputation, has a bad reputation in the West right now. It's exercise for old people, or this or that. In a way, that's fine, because it protects us.
What's the line from the Lao Tzu? If it wasn't the real Tao, they wouldn't laugh.
Yeah, that's it. We say when people don't hear about the Tao, so like they see Tai Chi, 3 in 10 apply it immediately. They understand. So, I want that. 3 in 10 kind of half interested, half not interested. And 3 in 10 think it's ridiculous and laugh at it. We say if they did not laugh at it, then it would not be authentic. Okay? So, because we practice slowly and all that, people are like, how could you use that? Self-defense. see. Wait, come on. It's a martial art. We don't only practice. It's a very sophisticated. Anyway, so maybe people don't really know what it is. That's fine.
Because I've heard you refer to Tai Chi sometimes as internal martial art.
It's internal martial art. Tai Chi was founded, the first Tai Chi master of our style, Yang style, became the chief instructor of the bodyguard of the last emperor of China. Okay? So they don't mess around. If you're the bodyguard of the emperor, you don't mess around. Okay, this is very, very serious stuff. And internal martial arts in general, they're the guys who guard caravans. Okay? Until recent times, you had vast caravans going across China and Asia. They were like what we would call shipping today, with oil, petroleum.
Yeah.
So they would be attacked by bandits. And bandits could be 500 guys, small army. So they hired top martial arts, that's from the internal styles, Tai Chi, Bagua, Xi, to defend those things. So it's a very serious martial art, weapons and everything. Today, I practice Tai Chi as martial art, many other people do. We also practice it for health exercise, it depends what we want. But the martial principles have to stay there, whatever we practice, whichever way we practice. They're essential. They're to develop the mind. Okay? Not just the body, but the mind also. The martial principles are imperative. But we can go very far with that, yes, indeed. So there are, trust me, some people on the planet you don't want to mess with. They have extremely high, sophisticated level of martial arts. Tai Chi. Okay? And it's extremely dangerous. So it's martial arts. Martial arts is not fighting. Martial arts is not sport. It's something else. Life and death. Okay? So, yes, if for those who are interested, yes, it's definitely a very powerful and effective martial art. How, to what point my skills would be able to would be useful in a difficult situation? I don't know, it's hard to say. But we train in order to react consciously to certain things, just as in other professions people train.
Because I guess doing the figures over and over and over and over super slowly must be some type of reprogramming of your basic defense system. If you get into trouble, the machine is like...
And then especially after we do solo exercises, and we do exercises, partner exercises, all that develops. Eventually what we're looking at is some kind of consciousness that goes beyond fight or flight. Or as some people call it, fight, freeze, flight. Okay? It's so, almost everything in life, when you're going to answer the phone, think about this, it's very subtle. The fight and flight syndrome. I'm not talking about necessarily conflict, physical conflict. Just generally in life, we have all these all kinds of feelings that are related to fight and flight, especially on the psychological level, emotional level. Okay? So we got to get past this and come to some other state where we can transform with the energy of the presence. You're present in the moment, and you don't fall into a reaction of run away or stick or whatever, fight or flight or whatever.
So you develop self-mastery.
Well, hopefully. Anyone who disagrees with you or you disagree with them, there's going to be a fight or flight, even in the conversation. You understand? It's very subtle.
And you told me once that Tai Chi developed abdominal breathing.
Yes.
And that most people, like in society, in the city, and whatever, are breathing from here.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what happens also in a situation, let's take an extreme conflict like a fight. People would lose their means even if they're well trained, because they start breathing from here and they panic and you panic.
Yeah, of course. Well, there's no guarantees, you have to, with the training, you train as best as you can, but there's no guarantees. I mean, it's like the police, you're a rookie cop, you train, and then one day you have to go out and do it. Or you're a surgeon, you're training that. One day you're going to go cut someone up. And if you're like that, that's why, don't tell anyone, but they usually practice on old people. Okay? So it's like that. So we train, we do our best. There's no guarantees. But your breathing, you see, normal breathing is up here, above the nipple line. This is emergency breathing. Look around you. That's Western civilization right now. Here, easy. You have to breathe down here. This is life. Okay, but we're conditioning that. It's not our fault. We're conditioning that. So every system of exercise is going to bring your breathing down is good. In Tai Chi, we don't go directly to the breathing. We don't start with the breathing like we do in yoga. That's not our way. Our way, we work on the exercises that keep the diaphragm from going up and down too much. It's just a gentle, soft movement. This encourages abdominal breathing, automatically. When the abdominal breathing becomes automatic, then we have other kinds of breathing that come in. Very sophisticated ones. But in the beginning, we're looking for a natural, ordinary breathing, which is what we don't have right now. Naturally, you should breathe from the stomach. Look at a baby. Mm-hmm. They breathe from here, completely. They're completely one with the Tao, the Tai Chi, right here. Happiness. As soon as it goes up here, life is much more difficult. But that's the way it is.
And since it's such a vast and old system and subtle too, what would you tell someone who wants to pick up a practice or start a practice? I guess, can we find like scam Tai Chi? Is it just like, is it a system that you can find a bad teacher and be into not the real thing?
You know, I'm kind of naive. Yes, of course. I'm kind of a naive person, and I kind of stay away from certain things. But I know people have told me that, you know, you can Google naked Tai Chi, for example, and it exists. And I've seen adverts, you know, for the 108 movements. Mm-hmm. You can learn them in a weekend workshop, apparently.
And is that credible?
No, it's total nonsense. If you want to learn 108 movements from me, it'll take you 6 months at least, maybe a year. Sometimes I'm really slow. I have some of my students, they've been with me two years or more, and I still haven't learned them all. Because we go in deep depth. Look, my teacher always said, better do one movement correctly than 100 movements badly done. They don't bring you any benefits. You want to have benefits on Tai Chi. There are certain things we want to develop. It's very important. So, what was the question again?
It was kind of like open about, because I know if you there's certain things, like if you want to learn them, the quality of like how traditional the teaching is.
You see, the thing is, you need to try to find a quote traditional teacher. It's not easy.
Do you think there's a lot out there, like in?
There's quite a few, but how good they are, it depends. You know, it's just like Tai Chi is like anything else in life.
Could someone learn Tai Chi on the internet with videos?
No, impossible. No one ever in history has learned Tai Chi from a book or a video. You cannot learn like that. You will not be able to learn like that. You will never learn like that. Despite what some people might try to sell you. Okay? People give classes online.
Because we see, especially in pandemic times, but just with the advent of social networks and internet, a lot of people have picked up, let's say, a yoga practice. They look at someone doing figures, they do figures. Could you do that with Tai Chi?
I don't want to condemn you. I don't want to talk about that, yoga, because that's not my thing, but for me, this is...
In Tai Chi, it wouldn't work.
No, Tai Chi is way too sophisticated for that. We say to learn Tai Chi and to teach Tai Chi, you need 4 hands. You have to contact, touch. You have to place, to get an alignment. You can't just imitate somebody. It's not going to work.
Because of the nature that's so internal to it.
Exactly. Eventually on, I want to give some kind of classes online, but not for beginners. For people who have already done stuff, who understand what sitting in space means. And then I can show them things and they can add that. They can learn. But to teach beginners, it's not possible. No one ever did that. All you would have is an imitation that is empty. I know people are satisfied with that, because all they want to do is learn, wave their arms and legs around in space, and show it off to their friends. Oh, I do Tai Chi! Well, yeah, okay, good luck, you can do that, that's up to you. But that's got nothing to do with Tai Chi. Nothing to do with personal evolution of the human being and all that. No. You want to learn Tai Chi, you have to find a good teacher. And that's not easy. So, it's not easy. It's definitely not easy, but you need that. A guide. Teach yourself a guide. He doesn't teach you anything, you learn yourself. It's auto-initiation. You're self-initiating. And it's self-discipline. If you don't practice that, there's no one telling you to do this, do that. You practice, or you don't. And then you get better, or you don't.
Because I remember you saying at one point that the forms of Tai Chi are archetypal. Archetypal?
Archetypal.
Yeah.
They're archetypes.
Yeah.
Yeah, images.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you just said you have a guide, but you're teaching yourself. A bit like when someone learns to walk. Like the program is in there, nobody really teaches you how to walk. You observe people, they guide you, you teach yourself. Is the learning of Tai Chi similar, the approach?
For well-being, for self-defense. Okay? So in terms of self-defense, we're very direct. Much more than most martial arts. It's a very direct thing. The reaction. The action. And the same with the mind.
Let me take a question from the secret envelope. You want to...
Secret envelope?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a secret envelope.
Secret envelope.
You want to take some water or something?
No, I'm fine.
I can tell the coffee doing its trick.
I don't feel it though. No. It's just it's good questions. It brings me
I'm teasing.
Thank you, Gabrielle. For her, I was no coffee at all.
Okay, so I've picked up questions that students have put in a little envelope. So I have one here.
People hate me or people like me?
Right now it's 50-50.
Okay.
But they say they're open to discussion.
Okay. Pastor, just a sec, I don't know what we're going to do with this because I saw a podcast on meditation the other day. And the guy's giving the class talking about meditation. He received death threats.
About meditation?
Yeah, no, but him, because they don't agree with the way he talked about it. We live in a weird world. Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, so a question here is, why do so many positions and movements have animal names?
Because they're based on the animals. But they have names, they have images also. White crane spreads wings. Okay, so we're not interested in, it's not an imitation of the bird. It's taking the principle energy of it and then bringing it into the human being. So white crane spreads wings is a movement with the body with the wings. But what it means is a vertical force. Snake is a horizontal force. Horizontal energy. Snake is like that on the earth.
So there's a lot of symbolism and images.
Well, yes, absolutely. So the two basic ones are the two energies, vertical and horizontal. They meet and they become one in human being. So these are two forces. But you see, tiger means certain things. Not just the animal tiger. It refers also to internal organs in the body and energies in the body.
Organs that deal with the producing of that type of thing.
Different things. It's very sophisticated.
I have another question here. What is the relationship between Tai Chi and Qigong?
Okay, some people say that Tai Chi is a giant, the form is a giant Qigong. Because Qigong means the work, Gong is work. It means the work of Qi, or cultivating Qi, or mastery of Qi, circulating Qi. So Qigong and Tai Chi are more, there's a relationship between them. We work more specifically with something we call Nei Jing, which is internal, really internal work of developing the Qi. Qigong is more like medical Qi. The medical Qi that flows through your meridians, external meridians. internal. They're in the body, but they're more external than this center. These things are hard to explain, but Qigong is, some, I believe, not sure that they work with the yin-yang concept, for example. And in Tai Chi, it's vital. Tai Chi means yin-yang harmony. So in Qigong, they work, I believe, I'm not a Qigong teacher, they'll probably be horrified by listening to this, but maybe they don't work on the yin-yang so much. There are different,
They use the same principles
There are
basis, but they don't work in the same way.
similar principles, not as complete from what I understand.
Okay.
I'm not a Qigong guy, and they might be upset with what I say. There are thousands of systems in Qigong, by the way, from what I understand. There may be these are 1,000 styles, and then each one can have 1,000 movements. Okay, so there's a lot of material out there. Okay, it depends on which authority you listen to. Some say that, 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, every valley in China had its own Qigong system. They're isolated by geography, but they said they developed it, right? Just like cuisine, different foods, and it's like that. So it's hard. So Qigong is one thing, Tai Chi is another. They're both good. Qigong is fantastic for developing the health and all like that. Personally, I find it boring. But that's just me.
Okay, another one, random question.
Compared to Tai Chi, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Compared to Tai Chi.
Yeah.
Because Tai Chi is fun, it's exciting, it's alive, it's movement. And you do anyway, that's just me. Because I'm lazy and I like good things.
Okay. How does doing Tai Chi help us as we get older?
Okay. Are you a bit young for that question?
It's not mine.
Okay.
It's one from the
From
man.
Jean, probably, because he's getting more very quickly.
Yeah.
So say the question again, how does it benefit us? Well, it benefits us.
As we get older.
Well, it's like any, my teacher master used to say, that very young people don't need to practice Tai Chi. He said, look, their organs, someone 20 years old, his organs are fine, everything's healthy, working fine. So it's really good. Unless anybody wants to do combat, and they should do karate, he's faster, or kung fu, there's no point. But as you get older, you need to do more exercise. My teacher used to insist on that, he was adamant, that the older you get, the more you should exercise, more. Not silly exercise, intelligent exercise, and Tai Chi is wonderful exercise to develop, as we've discussed. So therefore, the older you get, you need to take care of yourself more, for sure. Your organism is going to take care of you until you get to a certain age. Depending on your lifestyle, obviously. Some people, they pay the price earlier and pay the price later, depending on your lifestyle. If you're into a negative lifestyle, you're going to have to pay. You pay eventually, but you're going to pay younger. So it's normal. As you get older, you're going to naturally focus more on trying to eat better, exercise better, sleep better, and so on and so forth.
And does it help particularly with, like, as you get older, the joints start hurting more?
Absolutely. This is imperative. We open up the joints. I can only, in this case, I'll speak from my own experience. Also, it's important to understand that there's you have your health, and then you have your movement. They're not necessarily connected the same way. So you could be in great shape, but your health can be poor. Okay? I'll explain.
Right.
An athlete, by definition, is in great shape.
Yeah. But you see a lot of them with like back problems.
And sick, they get colds all the time, they run down.
Yeah.
Most athletes are not in good shape, not in good health.
Right.
They might be beautiful and perfect, the muscle system and everything is fine, but a lot of them are not very healthy. Okay? So, Tai Chi, we want both. We want to be healthy and in good shape. So if you practice, we keep the joints open. When open the joints, release tension in the joints. This is one of the guarantees of health. In Chinese medicine, they say disease starts in the joints. Okay? And you ask older people who are suffering from arthritis, it's not fun.
Yeah.
And you slow down to get stiff. And you don't want to get stiff. This is the opposite from Chi. Chi flows like water. Okay, it's got to be fluid. Stiffness, rigidity in the body, this is the enemy of health. So we should all take care of that. Men, women, but especially men also, when they start getting middle-aged, they become stiff. This is terrible. Too much sport, too much athleticism makes us stiff. Stiff is no good. Stiff is no good. It destroys the health. Point of view combat, easy to control someone who's stiff.
There's a lot of emphasis too on that in the Tao Te Ching. Soft winds against hard, and all those images about water.
Yes.
Even the fact that the Tao is the symbol of the Tao is fishes, right?
Yeah. Water. So you see, it's the Tao Te King of Lao Tzu, there are instructions for Tai Chi directly inside that book.
And isn't there, I heard that story, maybe it's just a rumor, maybe it has some foundation, but I heard somewhere, somehow, that Tai Chi was a system that was implanted while China was somehow invaded and they couldn't practice martial arts, so they had to disguise it as these slow movements.
No, it's partially right what you're saying, but that's a mix-up of things. What happened was, you see, not this style that we practice, it's called the Yang style, 108 movements. So the Yang style was founded by the gentleman I was talking about earlier, who was chief bodyguard for the emperor of China. So his grandson founded the form that we do, 108 movements, is slow. The slow form that I teach, that I practice, this started in the 1920s.
So it's quite recent.
Quite recent. That particular way of practicing is quite recent. It'd been done before in parts, sequences, but he put them together in a whole long sequence. A man called Jungfu, who was the grandson of Yang and Chan, who founded Tai Chi, Yang style, Jungfu, very important man, one of the most important influential people of the 20th century, according to the New York Times, one of the most influential people of the 20th century. So Yang Jungfu founded that, and he made a speech. His famous thing was because the Japanese were taking over China bit by bit. They were in Manchuria, they had shifted to Shanghai. Yang Jungfu was in Shanghai, and the Japanese were insulting the Chinese, calling them the weak man of Asia, and these famous terms like this. So he said, famously speech, he said, look, we have to develop ourselves. The Japanese look at them, they're diminutive people, but they're very, very strong mentally and so on, because they work, they exercise. So he developed so he took out certain elements of Tai Chi that were too difficult to practice. High kicks, jumping, spinning high kicks, falling to the ground, stuff like that. He reformed it, if you want, made it more what we do now. And this allowed it to be spread around China so that more and more people could get in health, eat better, live better, and everything, so they could resist against the Japanese invasion.
So it's also more suitable for any type of individual to practice.
Anyone can practice Tai Chi.
As self-development. Like
it's possible, even if you're unfortunately confined in a wheelchair, you can still practice some version of Tai Chi. It's for everybody, but at the same time, it's not for everybody, because you have to have a feeling for it. You have to have a connection for it. You have to have some desire for it. It's not going to say, oh, you should go take a Tai Chi class. You need to you need to connect. You need to have some kind of feeling for them. You have to be interested in Oriental culture, or martial art, or dance, or movement of the human body, or maybe cuisine, or there's all kinds of things. Or mythology, or something that's going to connect you, kinesiology, whatever.
Do you find that a lot of people come to Tai Chi after certain illnesses or injuries?
Some people are sent by doctors.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is good. Some people are coming, and I do help them as best I can. Definitely, some people. It's good that some doctors do that. They have some understanding of what Tai Chi is. They send people. That's great.
Okay, so I'm going to ask a personal question just for fun. Maybe it isn't relevant to anything, but is there a link that we can establish between Tai Chi and the notion of magic? Is there one? And if yes, what would it be?
That's a great question.
Yeah?
Yeah, because that allows me to go where angels fear to tread, as we say in English. Because unfortunately, the martial side of Tai Chi has some negative elements. Not in Tai Chi, but in its relationship in the world, especially in the world of martial arts, because there's a lot of macho guys. And there's a lot of people who are cynical, because we live in an age of cynicism and also deconstructionism. Okay? So people will say they insist that Tai Chi is physical, material, solid, and the Chi is nothing, and it's all solid, it has to be solid, like this. Okay? So I say that Tai Chi is a system of magic. I'm not talking about magic powers, like telekinesis, telepathy, and stuff like that. I'm not talking about that. That's another subject. But it's a system of magic.